Good morning. Happy New
Good
Year.
morning. Oh my gosh, we got
Yeah.
snow.
Good
That's
morning and
crazy.
happy New Year to everybody.
How's everyone doing now that we've
Good.
gotten past the holidays?
Doing good, doing good. Just trying to keep warm here in Denver. Lots of cool weather.
Mhm.
Winter weather is here for sure.
I get it. Me
Well, it
too.
looks very cold where you are at, Heather. It looks freezing. That
Yeah.
snow.
I'm gonna go play. I'm gonna do snow angels here in a little bit.
Yeah,
It's interesting
exactly.
because I have a lot of sun and I'm only like about 3 miles from you. So interesting. Keep that a
those,
secret.
those backgrounds, I tell you, it's amazing.
I know
Hmm.
that one's really good. I mean, they've
Yeah.
gotten so good. I remember when they were so bad. Whenever you would move, the whole thing would like pixelate and be like, "Wah," but now you can't even tell.
How's that again,
Crazy.
Jason?
Aw.
Wah. Yeah.
Oh my
uh,
gosh. So we have a fun topic uh, today. Ray came across an article that piqued our interest about
yeah.
uh, a
Now, if
company.
you're an
And
extrovert, you'll think this is pretty cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you're an introvert, this will make your skin crawl and maybe even like hair stand up on the back
Yep.
of your neck because this is like the worst. This is the worst idea for introverts, I think. But
Yeah. No, I would agree. I would agree. Well, it yeah, we with this I came across this article on HR Brew. Uh, I think it was in late December, and
Mm.
basically it's a company in Brooklyn, New York. They're a startup, probably 100 employees. Uh, the company is 100% remote, and and initially the thought was that they would have an office for 50 to 75 employees. When COVID hit, basically everybody went remote. Nobody wanted to come back, and they decided to shut down their offices and be a 100% remote company. And The company's name is Athena. What they do is they've got a compliance and training platform that helps organizations, make sure that they're taking all the appropriate training programs based on the country and based on the city and state where employees live. So, uh, and it's interesting. They're because they, you know, reduced their office footprint, they repurposed some of those dollars into a employee engagement bonus where they basically encourage employees to get together and they will pay up to $100 per employee for these get-togethers. So they're trying to kind of, get people together on a, you know, more informal basis so that it helps them in their communication overall. Uh, so it's a little bit of a controversial program where you're kind of you're paying employees to get together with their coworkers. So, whereas before we've all been through the uncomfortable happy hours that we really don't want to be at, but you got to be there. We've all done the Christmas parties where somebody always gets overserved and ends up getting fired the next week. So
Mhm.
those forced employee get-togethers necessarily aren't the best thing. So this is an alternative to that. But what are your thoughts?
So is it $100 per uh, time they get together?
Yeah. Well, no, no. $100 per employee per year. So if the employees want to
Oh.
get together,
Mm.
save up their money, over a year or 2 years, they could get together, go to a ball game or a hockey game or a play. So there's different ways that they can use the funds. And I think that what they basically said, look, we don't care what you do. You want to go out and rent stand-up paddle boards and go paddleboarding. That's okay. You want to, get coffee, get dinner, drink beers, whatever. They basically kind of left it very open-ended as to how the employees can use their $100.
Hmm.
Yep. And my guess is they probably have more than $100, a year, but you know, that's the amount that the article talked about.
Wonder if they have to prove, like you were mentioning,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
introverts. If you're introvert and you go have coffee by yourself, does that count?
Probably not. I think the idea is you got to do it with another employee.
Yeah.
Uh, and it's kind of the requirement is, you know, having that, it has to be at least two, two people together. But yeah, it is interesting. I mean, I think one of the things I was thinking about is, you know, one of the toughest things in an organization is building a network inside of a
Hmm.
company, and you really have to work hard at doing that when you're inside of a company to understand how it really works, and how to get stuff done. Uh, and this is a way to help people kind of, talk to folks and get to know other people in the organization to, yeah, to help, move things forward quicker if possible. Uh, so from that perspective, I think it's good because I've been in organizations where I've made the effort to do that and it helps. But I know other folks in the same organization that didn't make an effort and they really they struggled to get stuff done.
Well,
Go ahead.
I don't know. It seems kind of weird. Like to me, if you call up Bob and you say, "Hey, Bob, I'd like to use my $100 to go out to a nice lunch with you. Do you want to use part of your $100 too?" Oh no, I'd rather go out with John and put my $100 towards him because he's a better bet in the company. He's going to be a better connection long term. I don't know. It just is like it just seems to me that it's rife with all sorts of problematic issues.
I
So
would
what
agree.
happens if you pay people to go
Yeah.
out and they get rip roaring drunk and somebody, hits somebody and gets a DUI later, which, I'm HR. I hate to be the bad HR person that thinks about that. But then, the company is really on the hook because you paid these people to go out and you funded their bar tab. So you're really
Yeah.
at risk for potentially
True.
whatever may happen.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that's a concern, and then there's you've always got the people that take this, money and do the wrong thing with it. Those people that decide, hey, let's 10 of us guys go to the strip club. And, they end up at the strip club and that gets found out and you got to deal with that. I don't know. The whole thing just seems rife with problems. I mean, I'd
Yep.
much rather have the company. I think setting the money aside is a really cool thing. And I really like that they do that. I mean, I think it would be much better if you, as a company, had the money and then people got together and said, hey, we want to do this with our money. And, the company approves it and looks at it and is fine with the event and sees value in it. I mean, I think it's a great idea. I just don't think that we're in a society anymore where we can, or I don't know if we've ever been able to be in a situation where we allow people to make these kinds of decisions. And you're not going to have somebody that's going to make an irresponsible decision,
Hmm.
unfortunately. So I just think you're better off having some oversight in it.
Hmm.
No, I think would be a neat idea is if you take this, because you want people to talk and get to know each other. And if I were employed this organization, I'd say, hey, you know what? Let's go do Homes for Humanity as a team. We're talking and visiting while we're building this home, and let's use that money to pay for snacks and beverages and whatever, a lunch and dinner
Hmm.
at the end,
What kind
and
of
then you can spend the
beverages?
whole day together.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
kind of beverages? Approved
Soda,
beverages? Are we talking about
water,
Yeah.
Modelo? We're talking about Cobra?
coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Non-alcoholic
Oh,
beverages.
Yes.
No, I think a couple of things. One is, I kind of did a little pros and cons. I mean, that for me, the pros are, you're encouraging folks to get together when there's nothing else. And I think you're right, Heather. There's got to be some better ways to do that, better programs,
Mhm.
uh, to build those bonds. My biggest concern is like Jason's. I mean, I think that to a certain degree, you're ripe for leaving people out. I think that
Yeah.
you know people that look the same, went to the same schools, want to hang out together and use their $100, and they may leave folks out. Um,
You
so I
already
think
know
there's
each other.
yeah, exactly. I think that the whole
Yeah.
diversity challenge there, you're not really as inclusive as you should be. And it's almost like this is like high school cool kids all over again. It's like yeah, let's
Yeah.
choose who we want to spend time with, and use the money for that, and everybody else is kind of on the sidelines. And so I think
Mhm.
that's a huge you know challenge from a culture perspective. Uh, and then, like Jason said, then you get into the whole inappropriate use of the funds, which could be a huge problem. Unless you put
Yeah.
some strong, some good guardrails, on under the program.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
agree.
mean, I know
Yeah.
the story got a lot of traction. It was shortly before the holidays, and
Mhm.
I saw it in a lot of places where people were talking about the
Mhm.
story. And I think it got fairly, you know, positive reviews about it. So
Mhm.
it definitely did a good job of driving some attraction to this company and people knowing more about this. So from a marketing standpoint, the
Mhm.
idea was
Mhm.
pretty genius because they got a lot of play out of this idea for sure.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I think that it helped build their brand uh, from an employment perspective. I think it's going to help them because they have been getting a lot of positive press. And the leader, the HR leader in the organization, is out there, you know, on all the networking sites and all the social media sites, talking about some of the things that they do.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it's just unfortunate that you can't have an idea like this and it just be met with 100% acceptance. Like I would love just to be able to say, that's a great idea, let's do it. But
Mhm.
unfortunately, there's the potential for so many issues with it. You can't necessarily embrace it as strongly as you would like to. And that's
Yeah.
problematic, I think, where we
Mhm.
have to come in as business people and say, as much as we want people to socialize and as much as we want people to do things together, there also has to be there has to be oversight by the organization and legal and HR. Unfortunately, got to bring these folks in to mess up our fun, but that's what you have to do in these days. I mean, things that are just so crazy that you have to think about, and especially also insurance. I mean, if you're a company and you have insurance,
Mhm.
you got to run this by your insurance. If something happens, would your insurance pay out on it? If some employee
Yep.
gets injured because they were out drinking or doing tobogganing or something like that, are they going to cover it? I mean, there's so many things that you have to think about, and it becomes such a complicated issue. Now, probably for smaller companies, it's easier to do this. If you're a big company or a larger enterprise company, I don't think you would ever take this idea on. You would just be so concerned with what would happen. You could never do this. At least that's my 2 cents. I just don't
Yeah.
think that if you work for a bigger company that they would even consider this. I just know the problems that we had even trying to get, drink tickets for people to have like, a glass of beer or a glass of wine if we did some party, internally at the companies that I worked at. That was like a big deal. Like two drink tickets were the max. And
Mhm.
if you
Mhm.
were caught giving out your drink tickets, it was like a fireable offense if you didn't use them. So
Oh, wow.
it's companies take this stuff really seriously. Where were
Mhm.
There was a couple of times too, Ray, where I think there were companies or startups or whatever that they wanted to have their um, beer tap continue when they got acquired, and it was like a
Mhm.
continuous beer tap
Yeah.
all day
Yeah.
long. We're like, yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, we
What?
don't do a beer keg all day long every day for you.
Yeah. No, I think we did an
Whoa.
acquisition at Cisco up in Canada where their biggest, we pulled the kegerator when we took them over, and the employees were not happy, and it was like, hey, sorry, man, but we're not gonna fund an ongoing kegerator being filled, as soon as it's empty with more beer, uh, you know, so yeah,
Yeah.
in startups, there's a lot of that happens, and actually here up in Boulder, we did an acquisition where, in this case, it was with a different company that acquired them, and they were fine with it. They were like, fine, just keep it in there. Don't worry about it. We're more concerned about retention and turnover than a beer kegerator. So
Hmm.
they were much more focused on keeping the employees happy and minimal changes because they could literally walk across the street to Twitter or you know Facebook or 10 other companies on the same block there in downtown in Boulder. So
Holy smokes.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
I
It's
mean, how do you get your work done if you're drunk all day?
That is
it
the
is.
question, isn't it?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. It is
But yeah,
true. It
I
is
mean,
true.
okay, I will say this, but this is like a long, long time ago. So I can't, be held liable for this anymore. This is like 30 years ago, maybe even longer.
Okay.
I did show up to work drunk one day because it was like in my 20s, and I just realized that I couldn't do it. Like, how could people actually do this? Like, how could you actually be productive just being smashed at work?
Uh huh.
Like,
Uh huh.
there's no way I could do it. Like, literally, it just seemed like the stupidest thing I ever did, and I did it once. And I said, I'm never doing this again because this is really lame.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I can't concentrate, and I don't want to be here, and I feel like I could do like really stupid things on email and stuff.
Yeah.
So let's just not entertain this idea ever again. So yeah, so I don't know. Drinking on the
Yeah.
job was
Yeah.
never my thing.
No, agreed,
Mm-mm.
agreed. But no, I think there's a lot of things that organizations can do, whether you're smaller or mid-size or larger, to drive employee engagement. And and giving employees money to hang out with each other is not necessarily the best thing to do. But there are other ways to do that, and and we've helped companies with some of those different kind of programs. And
Mhm.
the other thing that was interesting in this article was that they really haven't measured employee engagement to see if this is
Oh,
working or not. So, that's the other challenge is, unless you
have a
know that it's
baseline.
working and have a
Yeah.
baseline and, and make sure that, if the intention here is, engagement and retention of employees, well, is it working or not? And
Mhm.
that's always going to be the challenge, as you talk to your leaders, what are the numbers and what can you, how can you substantiate the expense?
Yeah, I'm a much bigger fan of what Heather said. I'm a much bigger fan of doing a community event with
Mhm.
folks and
Mhm.
then going out for lunch or breakfast or something before or after it or dinner in the
Mhm.
evening. And then one of the things that always gets people excited is, having somebody who's a dedicated photographer for that event
Mhm.
take the pictures, and then the pictures get shared across the organization or, on your internal site. And people get, or you share them on Slack or whatever, and people get really excited to see
Mhm.
people, in different states or, in different
Mhm.
cities, communicating and having fun with each other. So for me, if I was doing this and I was advising, that's what I would advise. I think that that gives everybody a sense of community, and you can walk away feeling that people really bonded together as opposed to be like, "Hey, bro, I love you," and then calling the guy the next day saying, "What did I
Mhm.
say last night? I didn't even remember. I was so hammered." So
Nope, that's true. Uh, and it's interesting because at you know the last Colorado Food Bank event that I went to in December, there was a group there from Cisco, our old employer, and it was a group of probably 15 people that were volunteering. All of them were remote employees, and they were
Oh,
having
that's
a great
great.
time being able to get together and enjoy, a morning of volunteer work, and then after that, some of them were going out to breakfast, and then back to the office. So I mean, talk about a great
Yeah,
feeling
that's
for
awesome.
a team, and it was it was kind of cool getting to meet some ex Cisco folks, all of them in sales.
that's pretty
Love
cool.
that.
I
Hmm.
like that.
Yeah,
And when I was at Cisco and when you were at Cisco,
yeah,
we were there still when Cisco was pretty young
yeah.
and it was still fairly a new company. Back then, some of the original Ciscoites were still there and those people could drink. Woo. So
Different culture, definitely. In
different culture today.
early,
So
yeah,
I'm not
early
equating it with
Cisco.
the group that you met, but their bar tab would put that company out of business that's giving out the
Exactly,
$100.
exactly. So true, so true. Yeah, and especially when you supported the sales organization as I did.
Oh
Uh,
yes, yes.
totally different ball game.
Yeah. All
Yeah,
right, so we have a
fantastic.
lot of really cool stuff coming up. We have a lot of really cool things coming up. We've not put it into a calendar, but that might be something good for the next show. We should start to calendar out all of the different things that we're doing, all of the different places that we're appearing,
Yeah.
from being at Fiesta in San Antonio
Yeah.
and South by Southwest, and our speaking appearance at World of Work in Cincinnati. And we just got invited to another web webinar webcast that we're doing yesterday, and we have a number of other things rolling in, so we can talk about all those things perhaps maybe the next time, and
Yeah.
some of the topics that we're going to focus on those conversations.
And you and Ray are both superstars.
Oh, yes. Does that
Yeah.
surprise you, Heather?
We try, but
No.
it's all because Heather helps us out. To look good when we
Yes,
step
that's
out.
true.
That's the key. That's the
We
key.
never became
Yeah.
superstars until Heather started to work for us. Then
Oh.
it
There you
happened.
go. There you
So
go. Exactly.
definitely, she is the straw that stirs the drink at Thrive HR. I tell you that.
Oh, we're a good
Um,
team.
that's right. That's right. Well, good. And again, you know, please, any questions you may have on this topic or any other, uh, you know, topic that we can help you with, let us
Mhm.
know. We'd love to talk to you and help you out.
Look, if there was something that you neglected in 2023, there's a hire that you neglected. If there was something you neglected to clean up in terms of an HR process, or there
Mhm.
was anything that is in your HR vertical that you said, "Gosh, I really need to deal with this," but you didn't do it in 2023. Now's your time.
Yeah.
2024, we can help you out. So if you want to take care of that thorny issue or any other issue, we're here to help. So Heather, how do we reach you?
Heather.simmons@thrivehrconsulting.com.
And Ray, how do we reach
Yeah.
you?
Ray, Rey, at thrivehrconsulting.com.
And you can get me at jason at thrivehrconsulting.com. And we'd love to work with you, as we do with
Yep.
many other companies.
Mhm.
Exactly. And we have all our phone numbers and contact info on our website and on LinkedIn page. So, track us down. Love to talk to you.
We'll see
All
you next
right.
time.
All
All
right.
right. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye. Have a good day.